World War III shock warning, Trump must hit North Korea so hard it cannot respond, expert has pledged to take care of following its repeated threats of attack on the U.S. But he has so far failed to shut the brutal regime down. Former U.S. Army officer Ralph Peters slammed claims Mr. Trump should use a bloody nose strategy on North Korea, saying it would be utterly stupid and a really bad idea. Mr. Peters said it would be ludicrous to launch a surgical strike on North Korea, insisting the U.S. president must hit Kim so hard rendering him incapable of retaliation. Appearing on Mr. Peters said, "I'm sure that Jim Mattis would never go along with that because if you try to do a bloody nose strike, a surgical strike, the North Koreans would be compelled to respond and escalate. And then we would have to decide whether we are going to escalate. We don't want war with North Korea. We don't want a military confrontation. But if it comes to it, if to protect American lives, we have to take military action. You've got to do it right." Mr. Peters said Mr. Trump must comprehensively and broadly hit North Korea so they cannot attack South Korea or Japan, which is likely to happen in the wake of a surgical strike. The strategic analyst said it is a fantasy world to think a surgical strike would shut down Kim Jong-un's nuclear missile program. He said, "Again, we don't want a war with North Korea. But boy, if we have to have one we have got to do it right and win as fast as possible." During his New Year's address, Kim Jong-un announced that he was open to talks with his southern rival. He said, "When it comes to North-South relations, we should lower the military tensions on the Korean peninsula to create a peaceful environment. Both the North and the South should make efforts." This year marks the 70th anniversary of the North Korean regime's establishment, and the South will host the Winter Games. This year holds significance for the two Koreas, but also warned there is a nuclear button on his desk as he threatened the U.S. He said, "The entire United States is within range of our nuclear weapons, and a nuclear button is always on my desk. This is reality, not a threat." Mr. Trump hit back on Twitter. He said, "North Korean leader Kim Jong-un just stated that the nuclear button is on his desk at all times. Will someone from his depleted and food-starved regime please inform him that I too have a nuclear button, but it is a much bigger and more powerful one than his, and my button works."